Hey, 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 what do you say? This is Teal Time with Hope, and I am Hope, and I'm just coming out here on June 3rd because it's been almost a month since I did my last episode. So I just wanted to quickly come on here and just let y'all know that unfortunately I do not have a guest, but I am working on that. And even if I don't have a guest, I'll try to come on here once a month because I do still want to continue with this podcast. So what I wanted to talk about today is June 1st, for those who may not know, is National Cancer Survivors Day. It is celebrated annually on the first Sunday in June to honor and celebrate the lives of those who have survived cancer and raise awareness about the challenges of cancer survivorship and advocate for improved resources, research, legislation to support survivors. It's a day to acknowledge the ongoing struggles survivors face and inspire hope for the future. It's also, it's been quoted as to demonstrate that life after cancer diagnosis can be a reality. Though it is mainly celebrated in the United States, the National Cancer Survivors Foundation is attempting to grow its popularity in other countries with some success. I think that's really cool that they want to, expand to other countries. I try to do that. I feel with the help of my friends, colleagues, and students, we were able to spread awareness not just on ovarian cancer, but there was this one time when I was teaching in Riyadh, there in Saudi Arabia, because people might not know where Riyadh is, but it is the capital city of Saudi Arabia. It was after I recovered from the first time going through ovarian cancer in 2012. That's when the mission had started of wanting to spread more awareness on ovarian cancer. However, it was also an opportunity for students to spread awareness on other cancers. So at this private academy that I taught at, each class had picked a different cancer. So they would do a presentation of the cancer they had chosen. I thought that was just so dope. I thought it was just wonderful that they got really on board with doing that because it's not just about one cancer. Even though ovarian cancer is what I went through and others maybe go through breast cancer or just many different cancers out there, and they want to advocate specifically for their cancer. And there's nothing wrong with that because we need to continue to spread that awareness. But on this day, June 1st, which was just 2 days ago, because today is the 3rd, it was celebrated for everybody. I think that is just so amazing. And the emphasis on survivorship, because one of my students said that she saw that that some people, and people here in America still think that as well, see cancer as a death sentence. And she said that her brother, when he was in England, he was studying there, and he noticed that when somebody gets diagnosed with cancer, they don't let it kind of defeat them, right? And that's easy to do. When I say the word defeat, maybe that's not the right word, but she said that he noticed that they get diagnosed with cancer and they just keep moving. Their attitude is, okay, I got cancer, so now let's get better. Now what do I do? And that's the mentality that I had. I was like, all right, what do I have to do? Because I'm going to beat this, and I'm going to fight this, and I'm going to survive this. She was basically saying, we here, she can't talk for all Saudis, of course, and this was, 13 years ago. She said it just kind of made her brother think, that's not how we act. That's not how we react when somebody's been diagnosed with cancer. It's like, oh gosh, you've been diagnosed with cancer. I'm sorry because you're going to die kind of thinking. But again, there's a lot of people here in America who think like that. Even though there are studies showing that people are dying less from cancer, although there are more people getting cancer. But even though there are less people dying from it, one cannot help but think, I'm going to die. I've been diagnosed with cancer and I'm going to die. Some think like that instead of saying, I've been diagnosed with cancer and I might die, or I've been diagnosed with cancer and I don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of different reactions to being diagnosed with cancer. So the fact that they are putting this out there, that they have the fact that they have a National Cancer Survivors Day and putting emphasis on the fact that there is life after cancer that can be a reality is so needed. Not because we want people to be happy that I got cancer, but don't worry, I'll survive it. No, we advocate for all that awareness so people are just mindful of their bodies and they make sure they pay attention to their body and listen to their body. So if you did, God forbid, get cancer, it gets diagnosed in the early stages so you have a greater chance of actually being a survivor versus the late stages. So I'm glad that they have this, and I'm glad that they're trying to expand it to other countries because it doesn't matter if we're an American or if we're a Saudi, if we're, whoever, right? Cancer does not care about race, doesn't care about gender, it doesn't care about nationality, it doesn't care about religion, it doesn't care about anything. It does not discriminate. So why not spread it to other countries and get those countries on board to celebrate those who have continued to survive from this insidious disease that is called cancer? Why not? That's what I believe. So I'm really glad to see that they're wanting to do that, and I wish them success. And I did my best to do that in Saudi. I know that there are young girls that are no longer young as they were. They were very young then, and they're now in their late 20s, early 30s, and they learned about different types of cancer. And I got to be a part of that. It wasn't all me. I'll never say it was all me. It was a team effort with my colleagues and students being so open to learning about something that can be very, very scary. How much has changed today in Saudi compared to back then? I know the country is changing in a lot of ways to advocate for being healthy and to advocate for being mindful of things that, can harm us, and cancer being one of them. Is it to the degree that we have here in America? I'm not too sure, but I think what is important is just acknowledging that there is life after cancer. My book is called Hope Through Cancer, my first book, but it's also hope after cancer, because there's a life after cancer. Our life doesn't just stop, right? There is a continuation of life after cancer. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy, because once the cancer is gone, once the radiation stops, once the chemo stops, it is also learning to live in a new normal and learning to live with you being changed. Mind, body, spirit. We are different people after cancer. I'm glad that people acknowledge that, because there is the mental health aspect, and then there are the changes that happen to our body. It's the recovering process that sometimes takes years and years and years. There may be people out there that may never fully recover because of what the treatment did to their body. I know I deal with it's permanent neuropathy, right? Nerve damage to my fingers and my hands and fingers. And I don't know if that'll ever go away. And then I had the eyes, right? I got cataract surgery at 52, and I had to get the second one just recently, which is 54. And the normal age range, the typical age range for cataract surgery is 72. But because I had so much crazy chemotherapy and it damaged my eyes. And so there are things that we have to go through. It's like the residual effects of treatment for cancer is something that a survivor has to go through. So it's not like, hey, cancer's gone, so you must be good to go. We're not good to go. And to a degree, we would never be completely good to go. It doesn't mean we're not going to be good and great or okay. It doesn't mean our lives aren't going to be potentially still great and wonderful. I'm just saying that it's being a survivor is a beautiful thing that I believe we're all grateful for. While at the same time, there are a lot of things that we deal with after cancer. I'm not being pessimistic or negative or anything. It's just about knowledge and understanding that survivorship comes with a lot of things, right? I was diagnosed with anxiety and mild depression post the third time I went to chemo. There's that anxiety that, like, when's the other shoe gonna drop? Like, what's gonna happen? Those thoughts that cancer survivors have. And I've talked to a lot of them. Some may not even know that they subconsciously think and wonder, is cancer going to come back? Because it was a horrible, traumatic thing that we went through. So on one side, we're very, very grateful and we're living our lives and continuing to move forward. And on the other side, maybe just a little bitty part in us, in the back of the recesses of our mind, it may pop up. Is cancer coming to come back? Is this pain in my stomach, or is this pain in my neck, or is this pain in my head? Is this cancer coming back? Even if we don't want to, even if it doesn't last very long, and we shut those thoughts down, it's there. That's part of surviving. That's part of the survivorship that I know I deal with, and I know others have spoken about. They feel that as well. It doesn't take away the fact that we're grateful, y'all. It doesn't take the fact away that I am grateful and thankful and doing my best to make the best out of the life that I've been given. We all do have an expiration date. Nobody can deny that. I think it's just different for those who have gone through cancer, even if it's just one. But most especially, I think, for people who have gone through it several times. I'm not just speaking about myself. But how do you come out of going through cancer 3 times and think that you might not ever have that in the back of your mind? If there's such a huge probability, I am aware of that. I am not naive or in denial of that. I do not wish it to come back. I do not want it to come back. There's a really big part of me that says it's not going to come back. Third time's a charm. I'm going to hold on to that. Guess what? If it was to come back, I am a survivor. Maybe even just a little bit of a warrior. I have it in me to fight. I think when you've survived something as ugly as cancer, maybe we have that. Maybe there is a superpower that we have that got us through it in some way. I feel like I'm a survivor extra. I'm an extra survivor for those who passed away from the same cancer that I had. That's how I think. I do think there are people out there who have survived cancer and may think like that. Some may not, and that's all right too. But just remember, at the end of the day, if you know somebody that is a survivor, whether that be a family or friend or colleague or classmate or a neighbor, maybe take a second on June 1st on National Survivors Day. Maybe make them a cookie, send them a flower, send them a card, depending on how close you are. Because, if you're not that close, that might be a little cringe. You might just say, Happy National Cancer Survivors Day. You just never know. Maybe some people don't care. Maybe some people don't want that. I don't know. I wouldn't be against it if somebody was to send me a message to say, hey, I saw today's National Cancer Survivors Day, Hope. And I just wanted to say, I'm glad you're still here. I am glad that you are continuing to survive. I don't get those messages. I don't need those messages, but I wouldn't be against it if somebody did. Now, if you send them a message and they never talked about it, that's just weird. Okay, so don't be weird. Just saying. Just think about them. And if you don't even want to send them a message, or you don't know if they would be okay with that, say a little prayer for them, and in your own way, be thankful that that person that you know and love is still here. But that's just my 2 cents on it. And so, yeah, happy National Cancer Survivors Day. Even though I'm 2 days, after that day, it still counts because I'm doing this podcast on Tuesday, the 3rd of June. Thank you for coming to listen to Teal Time with Hope, and I really, really, really appreciate it. I know I'm only doing it like maybe once a month, but it means a lot for you to take some time and listen to my episodes. If you are a survivor of cancer, I wish you the best every day, that you continue to survive, that you continue to thrive. You are a warrior, and you do have a superpower. If nobody's told you, I'm glad you're still with us. By the by, my second podcast is a micro podcast. That means basically it's each episode is not even but 10 minutes. Sometimes I might go over that, especially if I bring on a guest, but in general, it won't be more than 20 minutes. I'm keeping it at 10 minutes, which I like because editing is a lot, but I digress. So if you ever want to take a gander over to a Real Talk with Hope on Spotify, I invite you to please come check me out. As far as what the topic is about everything and anything really under the sun. Just I think it's fun to podcast, and yeah, I wanted to try this micro podcast and see how it goes. And it's still new, but I like it thus far. So again, that's Real Talk with Hope on Spotify. All right, until next time. This has been Teal Time with Hope. I am the host, Hope, and I'll see you on the flip side. God bless. Bye for now.